Shabbat Shalom, beloved. Tonight, after we lit our Shabbat candles, we did the thing that is tradition for us at this point in our household. We went around and everyone shared things that they were grateful for or thankful to Father Yahweh for. It's been just a really great way to usher in Shabbat because, Shabbat is first and foremost all about thanksgiving unto Yahweh, thanksgiving unto our family, thanksgiving unto our friends. It is about sharing and being um, there to listen and to learn and to embrace. And so, starting off the Shabbat with this just, sort of gets you into the mood. And Um, this week we were blessed to be able to do this with the women of the Ark of Yahweh. The women of the Ark of Yahweh are incredibly special because, well, for a lot of reasons. But the two that I'll name now is one, they have decided upon themselves with the inspiration from my sister Miriam. Uh, they've decided to come together every Shabbat at 7 p.m. and study and learn and engage in the Torah. And there's nothing more important than engaging in the Torah. It's a beautiful thing. And then the second reason is because uh, it's one thing to just engage in the Torah and just, sort of have this thing where you're like, yeah, this is what I believe, and this is what I believe. It's another when it's actually a space where you can feel community, you can feel love, you can feel appreciation, you can feel people listening, you can feel people learning and grappling. And so, as we were going around and sharing what we're grateful for, um, Edia Bat Yahweh, who I love dearly, um, she had a shirt on and she was in the camera on Zoom showing her shirt off. And I honestly had no idea what it was. In my head, initially, I was like, is that thing? Is that a ghost on there? Is she showing us some sort of ghost shirt? And so I was scratching my head at first. And then she begins to describe that the thing that she was pointing to wasn't a ghost looking thing. It was actually a kidney. Tells you how much I know about science. And it was something that I think their family made for her daughter, who you all have heard taught an Omer uh, class before. But I think it was in the last or second to last week of the Omer. But her name is Malkaya Bat Yahweh. And so Edia is Malkaya's mother, and she was wearing the shirt in honor of her daughter who has ascended to Shemaim. And in that moment, Father Yahweh said, pay attention to that. It's going to help you out tonight as you do the Omer, because it's exactly what I want you to talk about. And so, although everyone had been sharing all of these great, great things, and, Edia's comment about this shirt that she was wearing uh, was the most poignant for me. It stuck out. And fast forward, I now understand the reason it stuck out, because on this day of the Omer, which is all about Gevurah, Shebe, Tifferet, I want to talk about the kidneys because they play such an important role in our life, in our health system, in our spiritual system, and it's all connected to the Omer. The kidneys contain thousands of teeny filtering units which process fluids and waste matter and pass them on to their sort of intended destinations. And usually that is either recycling them back into the body, or it is excretiating them to be eliminated from the body. The kidneys also control the level of salt and other essential minerals in the body. And it is significant that each person has a right and a left kidney. It's actually something that medical science does not explain, why there's a need for a pair of kidneys, since a person really can only live with one. So why do we have two? But spiritually, it makes all the sense in the world. In the Talmud, it teaches us that, and this is in Berachat 61a, it says that the kidneys advise. The kidneys advise. But where and why would where would we see this in Torah, that the kidneys advise, and why would it say that? Well, we see this from a verse in Psalms, Tehillim 16:7. This is where it stems from. And it says in that verse, I will bless Yahweh, who counsels me. Even at night, my kidneys admonish me. Okay, so if you have a Tehillim that's saying, my kidneys admonish me, then you can gather why we're talking about this, where the Talmud gets this concept that the kidneys advise from. The pair of kidneys in Hebraic thought actually represent and indicate a human being's free will, a human being's ability to choose right from wrong. You know, the main physical activity of the kidneys is the processing and the purifying of poisons and waste materials in the body. And that, beloved, occurs at night when a person is asleep. And so, when you think about all of that, free will is what it indicates. It's about advising, choosing right from wrong. It's about purifying poisons and waste material, and it happens at night. There is something else that corresponds with all of those things, beloved, and it's the Omer. The Omer is all about Yahweh teaching us about his free will, and specifically how to be free people, right? In Mitzarim, we weren't free. We were enslaved. Now Yahweh saying, you're free people. But the first thing I want to make sure you know as free people is that you have free will, which is such a radical concept. It's not that the first thing I want you to know is you must do what I tell you to do, or else. The first thing I want you to know is you don't have to do what I tell you to do because you have free will. It's radical. The second thing that is connected to the Omer is this concept of purifying poisons and waste material. Well, that is what this journey is all about, purifying the poisons from Mitzarim, Egypt. It is about processing our character toward the highest and best version of ourselves. And, of course, we know that it's important to say the Omer prayer at night. And so if the kidneys are purifying at night, well, there's clearly something connected to this concept of purification and the prayer that we do when it needing to be at night, and the kidneys and it being about free will and it being about processing the poisons at night. Let's walk this out slowly because there is something happening here under the surface. If you can't see it yet, let's just walk it out slowly. When we count the Omer at night, we are entering into a space of internal refinement. You know, nighttime in scripture is often where hidden things come up, meaning thoughts that we've maybe been putting off all day, they reappear at night. struggles, things we're wrestling with. We usually are more critical of ourselves, and we're self-examining more closely at nighttime. And all of this is a reflection of the very basic fact that it's quieter. And then when it's quieter and we're more honest, when we're in this space, it means we're less, performative. There is more truth. And that brings us to the kidneys, because the kidneys are described, of course, as advisors. But if you think about what is an advisor, then you can maybe come up with this other word, this other adjective to describe it. And they're counselors inside a person. They're places of decision making. It's almost like an inner voice that houses the choices that we have to make, which is all about why we have two of them, right? A right one and a left one. It's telling us that it is about free choices. It is about choices, which, yes, underscores our free will, but there is not a right way all the time. There's a right way, and then there's a wrong way. There's a good thing, and there's a bad thing. There's a pure thing, and then there's a thing that needs to be refined. So now we've got nighttime, which is about introspection and truth revealed. And then we've got the kidneys, which are about inner counsel and decisions and free will. If, beloved, you put those together, you get something powerful. At night, the place of decision inside you becomes active. Now layer in what kidneys do physically. They filter the blood, they remove the toxins, and decide what stays and what gets released. That is a living parable when you think about what Egypt was. It was a place that that left a lot of residue, right? It left ways of thinking. It left sort of the survival instincts and survival mentality. It left fear patterns and attachments to oppression. Again, hence one of the reasons that we named this podcast this year, Free People, is to denote that just the mere exit from bondage doesn't mean we are then free. Why? Well, because we have residue, like the residue we're speaking about, right? We still may have a mentality of scarcity. We still may have a mentality of fear and doubt and oppression. That all has to be removed, or you never will become free. And that's what this Omer journey is about. It's about physically detaching yourself, spiritually detaching yourself from those things that are still left on you from your physical enslavement. And when we put all that together, then we can see this alignment of the Omer and the kidneys a little bit more. If we know that the kidneys are filtering and removing toxins, filtering the blood, deciding what stays and what gets released. Well, what is the Omer? The Omer is the daily process of filtering what Egypt put inside you. Just like the kidneys don't automatically remove everything because they're discerning, right? They're discerning the things that are going to the column of, passing through the column of, recycling them back into the body, or passing them into the column of eliminating them from the body. That's discernment. Similarly, Israel, we're not being cleansed passively here. We have to have discernment about what we keep and what we remove. We have to make the choice, free will, about what we keep and what we remove. We have to be like these kidneys, right? And it's the Omer that helps us gain this insight. Every day of the Omer, we are asking questions because we are being trained in our free will. We're asking questions like, what do I keep? What do I release? What is poison, even if it once helped me survive? So the poisons of Egypt don't always have to be sort of obvious sins. Sometimes they're just habits that made sense in bondage, but don't belong in freedom. It's almost like saying before Yahweh, I'm aware something is still in my system. Help me identify it and choose differently. But most importantly, help me release it. This is the language of the kidneys, beloved. It's about filtration and discernment, and that's free will in action. And also, what we should know about the kidneys is scientifically, they are not purifying the body in one moment. As in, you're not going to get to this place that is perfect or close to being perfect or refined or pure. You're not going to get there in one moment. It takes time, hence this 49-day journey. And likewise, kidneys don't purify the body in one moment. They do it continuously and quietly and daily, just like this 49-day count. Today on Gevurah within Tifferet, it brings us to a point where we have to talk about how we apply discipline inside our compassion. Because Tifferet is harmony and beauty and truth. It's the place where chesed and Gevurah meet, yet they are not canceling each other out. It's the place of sincere alignment. But when Gevurah enters Tifferet, something is shifting, right? It is asking us questions about, how do I apply discipline inside of my compassion? Or even more to the point, what do I need to cut off even if I love it? This is where the kidneys metaphor hits even harder and becomes more real, because the kidneys don't filter things randomly. They are precise and firm. They don't say, well, this toxin has been with us for a long time. How about we keep it today? No, this is not what it does. If it's poison, it goes. And so Gevurah within Tifferet is that moment, which is now, in the Omer, where all of us realize that we can't just be balanced in theory, or that we have to make decisions that protect that balance. And those decisions can feel intense because Tifferet wants to harmonize everything. It wants to see the good. It wants to hold the tension and the contradictions and keep things whole. I know this very well because this is what I do all the time. But Gevurah is saying today, not everything belongs in the harmony. Some things disrupt that harmony. Some things contaminate that harmony. Some things feel like love, but are actually residue from Egypt. So now the inner kidneys, that place of free will, has to step in with clarity, and it has to do things like say, this thought can stay, this habit can go, this attachment, I release it. And that's actually a really uncomfortable thing and process, but it is quite literally called purification. And that's why this journey is so beautiful, but also so tough and so uncomfortable, and why maybe people struggle to do it, because it requires moments of uncomfortability. Earlier days of the Omer might feel reflective and sort of much more lighthearted. But Gevurah within Tifferet is more so about truth cutting through that emotion. It is it is a turning point, because Israel, all of us, should no longer just be becoming aware of the poison. Now, 3 weeks in, we are being asked by Yahweh to take responsibility for removing that poison. And that requires courage. Where are you pretending to be whole? Where are you calling something balanced that is actually compromised? Where are you keeping something because you don't want to confront it? This day is, of course, not to push you to be harsh on yourself for the sake of being harsh, but it is a day that is about being precise for the sake of real alignment in the way that a surgeon does, or in the way that a filter does, or in the way that a kidney does. And when this is done right, something powerful happens. The beauty of Tifferet becomes real. It becomes clean. It becomes something Yahweh can dwell in. Gevurah within Tifferet is the courage to remove what poisons your harmony, even when it is emotionally difficult. So thank you, Edya Bat Yahweh, for wearing that kidney shirt of Malkaya Bat Yahweh. May her soul continue to rise to eternal heights in Shemaim. And I say to all of you, Shabbat Shalom.
You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me.
Today is day 16 of the Omer. If you were able to say the blessing and the prayer last night, then we invite you to say the blessing and the prayer tonight. If you weren't able to say the prayer last night, then we invite you to just say the prayer tonight. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Father Yahweh, King and ruler of the universe, who has set us apart with his mitzvot and commanded us concerning the counting of the Omer. Today is 16 days, which is 2 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. May the merciful one restore unto us the service of the Bet HaMikdash to its place, speedily in our days. Amen. Selah. For the choir master, a song with instrumental music, a psalm. May Yahweh be favorable to us and bless us. May he make his countenance shine upon us forever. That your way be known on earth, your salvation among all nations. The nations will extol you, O Yahweh. All the nations will extol you. The nations will rejoice and sing for joy. For you will judge the peoples justly and guide the nations on earth forever. The peoples will extol you, O Yahweh. All the peoples will extol you. For the earth will have yielded its produce, and Yahweh our mighty one will bless us. Yahweh will bless us, and all from the farthest corners of the earth shall fear him. We implore you, by the great power of your right hand, release the captive, accept the prayer of your people. Strengthen us, purify us, Yasam One, Mighty One, we beseech you. Guard as the apple of the eye those who seek your oneness. Bless them, cleanse them, bestow upon them forever your merciful kadoshness. Powerful, set-apart one, in your abounding goodness, guide your congregation. Only an exalted one, turn to your people who are mindful of your kadoshness. accept our supplication and hear our cry, you who knows secret thoughts. Blessed be the name of the esteem of his kingdom forever and ever. Master of the universe, you have commanded us through Moshe, your servant, to count Tifferet ha-Omer, in order to purify us from our evil and uncleanness. As you have written in your Torah, you shall count for yourselves from the day following the day of rest, from the day on which you bring the Omer as a wave offering. The counting shall be for 7 full weeks. Until the day following the 7th week shall you count 50 days, so that the souls of your people Israel may be cleansed from their defilement. Therefore, may it be your will, Yahweh, our Almighty One, and the Almighty One of our scriptural forefathers, that in the merit of the Tifferet ha-Omer, which I counted today, the blemish that I have caused in the Tifferet, Gevurah shebe Tifferet, be rectified, and I may be purified and set apart with supernal kadoshness. May abundant bounty thereby be bestowed upon all the worlds. May it rectify our nefesh, ruach, and neshama from every baseness and defect, and may it purify and set us apart with your supernal kadoshness. Amen. Selah.